Hi everyone, it's me, Lucky. I'm a third year pharmacy student who just loves books and loves talking about them. So here I'm making my first YouTube video in which I will be talking about the books that I read in the month of November. The first book that I'm going to talk about in this video is A Houseboat on the Styx by John Kendrik. This book involves a houseboat club whose members are all the famous people from history till the publication of this book. They are having these conversations with each other in which they are mocking each other, they are arguing, they are just making fun. The conversations that they have are so hilarious and it is a very fun book to read. The only problem that I had with this book is you will have to Google, especially I had to Google various characters that are present in this book because my history knowledge is not good. But it is not that big of a problem because you can just read the first paragraph of Wikipedia and just know who these characters are. You don't need any depth knowledge of them. So that's the only problem. I give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars because googling characters just become kind of a nuisance at the time, but when I got hang of everyone, when I knew everyone, it was really good. So definitely recommending and do check it out. The second book that I'm going to talk about in this video is the Reignheadon by Robbie Arnott. This book involves a mythical creature named Reignheadon who has the power to control weather. The main plot of this book revolves around two women, one of which lives in a forest and spends her time hunting, gathering food and other things. The second woman is a lieutenant in the military whose mission is to capture this Reignheadon for the military. The world in this book is in a cope and the military is trying to take control of the nation, and it requires the power of Reignheadon to do so. The women that I talked about, their life gets intertwined. They are forced to confront what they regret, what they love and what they fear. This book also talks about nature in the way that how we are harming the nature at the moment and how the nature has the power to harm us back. It doesn't directly talk about it, but it shows it. It just directly shows it to us. And I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. The only reason that it was a 4-star read and not a 5-star is just my expectations from this book. I was expecting it to be a fantastical story with powers of Reignheadon being explored and it being properly used, and which wasn't the case. This book reads as a literary fiction and it just has a magical element to it to add to the story. So if you are reading this book, go into it with those expectations. Other than that, it was a good read, and if you want to read something with a good story and a touch of magic in it, do check this out. The third book that I'm going to talk about in this video is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. The plot in this book is there is a cafe in Tokyo, Japan, which can send you back in time if you drink coffee there. You have to follow some certain rules like you can't get out of your seat when you are in the past. You can only meet people who have visited this cafe, and you have to come back to the present before the coffee gets cold or there will be consequences. The plot of this book was really interesting if you ask me, but the stories that it told didn't do justice to its plot if you ask me. The first two stories I believe didn't even require time traveling to solve their problems, and the second two stories were fine, but I think this book could have been really better. The story didn't just do justice to the plot. I ended up giving it a 3 out of 5 stars. It was a fine read for me, but it just wasn't what I expected. So these are all the books that I read in the month of November. If you found any of them interesting, do check them out. As you have seen, I read books from a variety of genre, of which my favorite is fantasy, and you can expect a lot of fantasy content here. Other than fantasy, the genres that I read and love are classics, comedy and satire, literary fiction and historical fiction. So, and if any of that interests you, please do subscribe to my channel and like this video. As this is my first video, I would like you to comment down what kind of videos will you like to see from me. And I will see you next time.